Hello and welcome to episode 14 of Think Big with Michael Zellner. All positive, no politics. My guest today is John Twitch Arroyo. John is the owner of Ruby Red Media and Memphis Marketing Mafia. His company is only 2 years old, and they were just voted one of the 7 best photographers, real estate photographers in Memphis. A lot of people might remember John between 2003 and 2007. He was the afternoon radio host on 93X in Memphis and was a very popular guy in the 4 years that he was here. So, John, welcome to the show.
Trump. I love Trump. I'm just kidding. You said no politics. I was like, no, let's go ahead and lead in with that. No, and I don't love Trump. I'm exactly with you. On my radio show, I don't want to talk about politics because that's the last thing anybody wants to hear.
Absolutely. There's enough of that.
Want to get mad. And if you want to get mad, just go drive in Memphis traffic for 5 or 10 minutes. And then you can be plenty mad.
Exactly.
Extra madness in this world.
Very true. So, John, tell us something interesting about yourself that most people don't know.
Well, when I was here, I guess I used to drink a lot. And now I'm a father of 2 wonderful girls, 3 and 2. Ruby, which is the name of my company, Ruby Red Media. She's why I started my company, and Poppy is a sweet little angel. Ruby is a little me. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to jail her out of 201 Poplar a couple times before it's all said and done. But no, fatherhood's definitely changed me quite a bit, and I think changed me for the better.
That's so awesome. So, you started out in radio doing nights at WNOR FM 99 in Norfolk, Virginia. You were working under program director Harvey Kojan, and he's now at CNN Audio. How and why did you get into radio?
Well, actually, I originally got into radio. Really weird story how I got into radio. God, that was a weird story. It was in Austin, Texas. I was a bartender, and I was 20 years old, and these 2 old dudes came in with these hot chicks, and they were like, "You want to be on the radio?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, I can do what you do." And they're like, "Yeah, man, just hook us up with some free drinks." And I was like, "All right." So I hooked them up with some free drinks, and that got the idea in my head. I actually started my career in Little Rock, Arkansas, over at KLAC, which is Lick 106.3 there, which is alternative station. And then I moved to NOR. That was my first big market job.
Right.
And then I moved here to Memphis, much to the discouragement of my boss there. That wanted me to stay at NOR, as that was going to be a good leaping station into a top 10 market. And he thought that Memphis was a lateral move. But you know what? It might have been a lateral move, and it kind of might have messed up my radio career a little bit. But the amount of fun that I had in Memphis and the people that I met, the people I became friends with, it was so worth it. Like that's all that matters. Yeah, could I have been in a top 10 market? Probably, but I wouldn't have had as much fun as I had here in Memphis. So it was a good time until 2006 when it all came crashing down. And then I wound up in Fort Wayne, Indiana, which not a lot of people know about. But you know what? It's a good place to chill your jets. And that's exactly what I did. I had a very successful morning show there for the last 12 years. Yeah, the last 12 years I was there.
How did you like Fort Wayne?
I love Fort Wayne. It's where I met my wife. It's where I had my kids. It's a very good place to raise a family. The winters suck. It gets cold, man. You don't know what negative something is until you live in it. And it was absolutely horrible. But, my morning show was the number 1 morning show there. We were doing really, really well. But I could kind of see the writing on the wall with Spotify and, just people being able to listen to music on demand. I gradually saw my audience declining to the point where it was like it was hurting me, like I was like, dude, I'm doing a good show here and nobody's listening to me anymore. Something needed to change. So that's what I did. I got to night school. I learned the Adobe Suite, and I decided to channel some of that creative energy that I had on the radio into video. And the original thought process was I'm going to get my show more on video so I can reach more people on like a podcast like you're doing.
Right.
And basically that just turned into, a lot of gigs that were coming in. And when COVID hit, my radio station there made us take a 20% pay cut. And I wasn't down with that. I was, already seeing the writing on the wall. And I said, look, if you guys don't want to pay me, I have a baby and an infant at home.
Right.
How do you, and I told him, I said, look, I have $140 to live on for 2 weeks. How am I supposed to feed my family on this? And, the opportunity just presented itself to where I could gracefully bow out of that situation and move here to Memphis, a place that I really love with some good friends that were willing to lend their support here, including Richard McCracken that owns Amplify Meal Prep, and Nick, what was your name? Nick Harmeyer, who's the CMO at the Memphis Zoo. Those two guys have been instrumental in my life, not only as friends, but also as business people.
Right.
Just seeing some of the incredible things that, Nick has done with his business with V3 Fights, and, on into the other MMA stuff that he's doing, and, the food stuff that he and Rick did together. They've just been really, it was funny because, I would do my radio show and I'd be looking on Facebook to see what they're doing all the time, because it always interests me so much, their lives,
Right.
going out there and being an entrepreneur. It's just, and, if anybody's watching this right now and you're on the fence about being an entrepreneur, let me tell you, do it. You're the best boss you're ever going to work for. Are you going to work your ass off? Yes. You're going to kill yourself, but you're killing yourself for you and for your kids. You're not killing it for somebody else. And I wish it didn't take me 25 years to figure that out.
You talked about coming back to Memphis. You originally came here in 2003 and you did the afternoon show at, it's at a relatively small station at 93X. It might have been small, but you were a huge personality there and had a very highly successful show. You became super involved in the community, having the extreme difficult job of going out to bars for station promotions several times a week. Yeah. What was that like for you?
Yeah, they tried to kill me.
How did you like that? What was that experience like?
It was great in my 20s. It was a little too much. We were encouraged to drink there. And it was a situation, not throwing anybody under the bus here or anything, but there was a situation where I realized I needed to get sober. And so I didn't check myself into rehab, but I started going to some things that would kind of help me wean myself off of some of the things that I was doing. And that was looked down upon.
Right.
And I was very slightly nudged to continue doing what I was doing before. That's just another instance of maybe your employer not really looking out for the best things for you,
right,
but the best things for them. And it was a selfish move. And, the thing is I think if they would have let me grow in that direction, I could have grown in another direction. And it would have been beneficial to that station. It would have been beneficial to Memphis. I could have been a morning show personality here that had something more to talk about than, drinking beer, dick, or fart jokes.
Right.
We could have had an actual conversation and we could have done some things, but, they wanted one thing out of me. And I think I was growing another way. And then it all just came to a head and it all came crashing down. It was a very dramatic exit out of here. And it was terrible. And it was probably the lowest point of my life when I left here. But it made me the person I am today. So I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. I don't think there's any reason why there shouldn't have been an X station here all the time for alternative rock. I mean, the market's there.
Yeah, no, and I still think it's here. We got 98.1 The Max, which is a great station, which Danny Bruns is a very good friend of mine. And she runs that station. I've always been a fan, but I think there's a good call to service for some alternative here too, or some, just like am I the only guy that likes Stained anymore? Like, I'd like to hear some Stained there. Can I hear some Mud Shovel?
That's a great song. I love that song.
Yeah. But it is what it is, man. And, their listenership just isn't there like it used to be. So they're having to just play to the biggest common denominator they can to grab as many people as they can into the radio business now.
After you left Memphis, I think you went to Texarkana.
Yes.
And then you ended up, there for about a year before you went to Fort Wayne. And the fact that you had a #1 rated morning show there, says so much about your talent and your connection with people in the community. Why do you feel like you're able to connect so well with people?
I think I'm real. I just think that I'm real. I think that I'm honest. I'm open. I'm an open book. I've never been afraid to be myself on air. Warts and all. When I was here on the air at 93X in Memphis, it was a lot of, beer and strippers. It is what it is. Like, right. It was a crazy time of my life. But as I got older, that's the one thing I really feel like I wish I would have stayed here in Memphis. I wish there was an opportunity for me to stay in Memphis because I think I would have really grown into something that could really connect with people here. In the fact that I did become a dad, I did have some challenges on in life. And I got through some things, and I was never afraid to share that on the air. And I think that's what made me a relatively engaging personality, and then people like to listen to me.
You had a pretty special friendship with a guy we both know, JJ. Tell us a little bit about JJ.
Yeah. Actually, his wife was just here today picking up some boxes. She's moving into a new home, and I'm happy for her. But yeah, JJ Spencer. If you don't know him, he was a prominent figure on Beale Street, and was my roommate for some time when I lived in Memphis. And those are some wild days. If you ever wound up on the porch over there by the University of Memphis campus, you know what I'm talking about. But no, yeah, losing JJ last year was. It's almost been 2 years now. Was a terrible thing because one of the things that I was looking forward to moving to Memphis is being here close to him. Somebody I consider a brother, and he has his son Hayden, which he comes and swims in my pool all the time. He's 4 years old. My daughters are 3 and 2, so they all play together. And every time that they're here, it's bittersweet. I feel like I miss my friend. And anybody that knows JJ knows that he was a character, but it catches up with you. You can't live your life going 100 forever.
Yeah. I remember him well. Was always a really nice guy and always smiling and laughing. And
just best guy, man. He would make anybody laugh. He was one of a character to himself for sure.
You while you were working full time at the radio station in Fort Wayne, you talked about how you went back to college, I believe, in 2017. So you're working full time, you're going to college, you studied design and visual communications, and you got a scholarship. You made the dean's list with a 3.8 GPA, which is just phenomenal.
Wow, did I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that is a super long way from the fun party guy that I knew and met back in 2005 that used to come to my pool parties. What led you to that decision?
Well, I mean, I think it was in me the whole time. I think once I realized what it was that I wanted to do, I was going to excel in it. I've never been somebody that has gone into something and not done well at whatever it is I want to do, whether that be, partying or, building a business. And at that point, I was kind of at a point in my life where I was realizing there were things changing. I lost my dad in 2017. And I realized that the party doesn't last forever, And it was very important for me at that point to start a family. And luckily, the woman that I was dating at the time, Sarah, that is my wife now, she was like-minded. And I told her, I said, look, I'm done waiting. I'm done playing games. I want to start a family today. Like, I want to go now. We can figure it out later. But I want to turn my life around, and I want to start living for somebody besides myself. And she agreed. I don't know how she agreed to have kids with me. I'm pretty ugly, but she did. And the rest is history, man. We're just here doing the damn thing together. We've always gambled on ourselves, and we've fortunately we've always won. So we're just hoping that the Lord keeps blessing us in those ways.
So you said you met her when you were in Fort Wayne, Indiana. How did you and Sarah meet?
Okay. So, I had this horrible marriage I was in with this insanely crazy person. Then I got divorced. And so when I got divorced, I kind of fell off the deep end a little bit. And I had to go to rehab, and I was in rehab for a little while, and I cleaned up my life completely. Finally got through the divorce. Everything was good. I was doing great. And slowly started, and the thing is, I'm not an absolute person either. Like, I believe you can have a drink here and there and be fine. I know a lot of people that have an addiction problem, and I wish them the best with it. But I was just at a really low part of my life, and I didn't need alcohol involved. So I just had to take a little break. My first week back off the wagon, we go to the Indy 500, which is rite of pilgrimage in Indiana. If you've never been to the Indy 500, my friend, listen, you think Memphis in May is good. Those people at the Indy 500 are getting down on the level. They got a damn rave inside of the damn racetrack. It's crazy. So she was one of the girls that came with our group there, and she had just broken up with her boyfriend. I knew her before, she had always had a boyfriend the whole time I knew her. And in the middle of the night, that night, she asked me where the porta potty was. And that's what happened, man.
Best question you've ever been asked.
Yeah. Hey, she asked where the porta potty was, and I showed her where it was.
In
I like
2000.
that. We just kissed. Don't
Okay.
anybody look. No.
Okay.
Maybe when we got back, but
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good start.
Just kissing.
That's a good start to tell you. That's a good story to tell your kids one day.
I blame Drake at that damn porta potty.
In 2020, you picked up your family and you ended up moving back to Memphis. You started your new business, Ruby Red Media, and you do a lot of things. I mean, you help all types of businesses, connect with potential clients, by increasing their online and their social media presence. That was a big decision to move and leave radio. You talked about some of the reasons why earlier. Going out on your own, that takes a lot of guts and determination. I know that, the radio business changing, was a big part of that decision, but was there anything else?
Just wanting more for my family, just wanting more out of life, realizing that wasn't what defined me. John, the Mexican, that was my name on the air there, not Twitch. That's not what defined me, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let any one thing go by in my life that I'm not going to do that I want to do. And I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I started listening to some motivational stuff on the way to work every morning at 3:00 in the morning to do my morning show. And I started listening to guys that were preaching about going out there and starting your own business. And I was like, you know what? The only way I'm going to do it is if I do it. And there was that opportunity presented itself, and we just did it, man. We were scared to death, and I'm sure there are still people there in Fort Wayne that think that I was the biggest idiot in the world for leaving a #1 morning show. But this is my dream. It's not their dream.
Right.
I even had people come up to me and go, "Why would you quit that job?" Well, I just wanted more. I mean, they paid me great. They did well. I mean, they were trying to cut my salary 20%, but man, I was making $64,000 a year in Fort Wayne, Indiana. That's no joke. I mean, that's a
Right.
good money there. That's like $100,000 a year here, So I just believed in myself, and I just knew that there was more out there for me. I knew that the possibilities were there. Was I scared shitless when I first got here? Yes, my God. 4 or 5 months into it, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. But thankfully, it just came. I just kept on grinding and sending cold emails out. And finally, I got some people to take a chance on me. Karen at Roadshow BMW was a big one. She took a chance on me, and it wound up being a wonderful relationship, because once I had Roadshow BMW underneath my belt of people that I represented, all of a sudden I had this air of legitimacy that wasn't because of Frank.
Right.
It wasn't because Nick gave me a job at the zoo. It wasn't because, Rick gave me a job at Amplify Meal Prep. All of a sudden now people are seeing my work and going, maybe this guy's got something. And then it just allowed me to grow and grow and grow. The more clients that I got, the more money I invested into my business. And I mean, I'm a firm believer in buying the best because it produces the best. All the equipment that I have, this is a $3,000 drone. Do I need a $3,000 drone? No, but it's got the best camera in the industry. Can you tell a difference off of this between that and a $1,600 drone? Yes, you can. And that's the only way you're going to get big clients, is to look big. You can't be half-assed in anything. In the business that I do, especially, you better be creative, and you better be producing content at a higher level than everybody else. If not, nobody's going to want to use you, and you're going to starve.
I'm a big believer that you putting out good and positive into the world, it comes back to you. And you obviously believe that too.
Oh, absolutely, man. I mean, and that couldn't be anything further from the truth. You've got to put out that positive energy. And, even like last week, we did a big thing for the FedEx 5K with my buddy Marcus Granberry, with those folks. But you know what, man, that kind of stuff, it's funny because I was doing something for them last week, and then I go to the Ronald McDonald house yesterday, and I'm doing something for them for Roadshow BMW. And which, by the way, if you've never been in the Ronald McDonald house before, and I had never been before, it was the most emotionally charged experience I've ever had in my life. To see those people, do what they do with those kids, and to see those handprints on the wall, because it's all St. Jude kids that are there. Right. It touched me in a way that it was just unbelievable. But, the fact of the matter is, because I helped Marcus out, that led to something, and then that something's leading to another something, because that might lead to another gig for me. And it's because I started from a place of peace and a place of trying to help other people. And sometimes when you try and help other people, the direct response on that is good karma.
Absolutely.
And something going well your way. And I really wish people would realize that more in life. Even when you're driving down the road, let somebody in. It's not going to kill you. You don't have to be the first to get in front of somebody. Where are you going to that's so important? I see your car. You got pull-out tags on. You ain't got no place to be. Go get some insurance. Thank you. That's my TED.
It's funny that you talk about that, about being kind to people. I was just talking to Romeo Kazan about that, about how, even when I go through a drive-through and someone, you see their name tag, and I try to use their name once or twice while I'm sitting there at the drive-through, because, those are people too. And no one probably uses their name when they come up there. They don't look that way. And you just want to be kind.
Just being nice to people. Just be nice.
You never know what kind of day someone's having. By using their name, you're making them feel good, and it could change their whole day.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you had an intro song every time you walked into a room that was playing, what would that song be and why?
I don't know, man. Crap, an intro song. Dude. I kind of like 9 Inch Nails. I want to F you like an animal. Not that I can F anything like an animal anymore, but it just got a good beat at the beginning. Boom.
That'd be a great song walking into a crowded room. Absolutely.
Yeah. I like Trent Reznor. That's my boy.
Yeah. As I mentioned, with Ruby Red Media, you help a lot of people in improving and establishing their social media presence, but you do so much more than that. You guys build websites for businesses. You do a lot of videos for real estate companies too, and much more. Tell the audience a little bit about some of the different things that you guys offer.
Well, the thing is we I found a partner that I'm about to make a huge announcement, by the way, friggin' huge. And we're so excited. It's really going to put us up at another level. And I can't really talk about it right now. I wish we were talking about this a couple weeks from now. But they're going to take over all the web design, all the digital marketing. And basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to concentrate 100% on what I'm good at. That's video. That's what I'm good at. I've tried to do some other things, building people's websites. Dude, I don't like doing that shit. It's terrible. Can I do it? Yes. Do I want to? No.
Right.
But I do have people that I work with that can do it, and they can do it very well. So if you're interested in, any kind of digital media, you need help with your SEO, your website, please give me a call. I have some partners that are absolutely killing it. And not only can we, create a package that will be well for you with that, but we can also create video, and not only create cool video, because everybody, it's great. You post it to Instagram, you get a lot of likes.
Right.
But to let that video live and then actually convert for you on your website is another thing. And that's how important video is right now. It really is. And I'm blessed because I'm in a great space right now where video is, if people that don't know that they need it are going to know they need it in the next 2 to 3 years. And right now it's ocean blue waters for me. I mean, I'm just swimming in, there's nobody out here thinking like I'm thinking. So, if I can just stay healthy and, keep my head above water, I think we might be all right a couple of years from now.
You're thinking big.
Thinking big, baby. Thinking
Absolutely.
big.
How are you able to do such high quality work and produce such great content with such a quick turnaround?
Well, I think radio is funny because I was talking to somebody about this the other day, somebody in radio actually, because a lot of other radio DJs, since I've started doing this, it's funny. Everybody thought I was crazy, but now everybody that I know that's a radio DJ is asking me, how did I get started doing this? It transfers over pretty well. Question, what was it again?
How are you able to do such high quality work?
So radio kind of primes you for that, because before you leave at the end of the day, they give you a stack of papers like this big. And these are production orders that you have to go in and read the spots and create them. So I already had some use in Adobe, and I had used thoughts of creating with my mind with words. Copywriting is probably one of the hardest things that you can do. Selling things with words is probably the craziest thing you can do. So when you get pictures to add to those words, bro, it's money in the bank. It's so easy for me. And it took me the longest to learn the basics But once I learned the basics, I could start to add my creativity to it. And the thing about creativity is nobody can do it like you. You know what I'm saying? You are your own creative genius. So then once you get to a certain level, you get to start doing your own shit. And I'm pretty quick doing what I do. I also have a team of editors underneath me that are very, very good editors. Beck, who you might remember from 93 back in the day. She's my chief editor. I send stuff over. She's working on some stuff right now. And she kills it. I think radio people in general are just pretty good at creating video. So I think radio prepared me for it, truthfully.
You've been a volunteer with Muscular, the Dystrophy Association, for over 8 years. How did you get involved with them?
Well, my sister had muscular dystrophy. So she passed away in 2011. Brandy was 34 when she passed away. They said that she wasn't going to live to be past 18. So she was a fighter, and she was an awesome person in my life. And, these are the ways that I was telling you that I wish that CBS here at 93X would have been a little bit more apt to let me do other things than be John the drunk guy or Twitch the drunk guy on the air, right? Because there's a lot more there. Okay. And one of my major charities that I always had in Fort Wayne was a big concert that we would do every year for Brandy. And we would raise so much money doing these concerts, and these bands would come in and play for free, because they wanted to be a part of it. And it was great. And, to be such a great part of the Muscular Dystrophy Association for so long was so great. They've had a tough time of it here the last couple of years. I haven't really got involved with them, particularly in Memphis. Most of my charity work so far has gone to the FedEx Family House, and just whatever random stuff I could pop up along the way.
You talk about how over 50% of consumers want to see more video content from a brand or business they support, that, and viewers retain 95% of the message when they watch it in the video, compared to just 10% if they're, reading it. And I've seen many of the real estate videos that you've done for Shannon McWaters and the firm. And I tell you, man, they're eye-catching. They're the quality, and they're spectacularly produced. Real estate, you're saying that it sells 50% faster using a photographer. How have you been able to help them?
Yeah, well, there's so many crazy success stories there. I don't know if real estate is really grasping video yet, or if the market's conducive to it grasping video, because there are a couple agents out there that get it, but there are a lot of people that don't get it, and that's unfortunate because it does sell. Yeah. One of the agents that I used, she actually sent me I screenshot it and put it on my LinkedIn about her selling to an out-of-town investor through my video over asking price, and she wouldn't have gotten that had it not been for the video. We've sold to NBA players. These guys don't have time to go look at houses. Right. They want to see a video. I recently had to raise my rates, and it's really sad because, I'm asking for 0.1% of the listing house cost of the house. And I've really been kind of ousted by a good number of my agents that I used to work with because they think that's too much. And I think it's not enough. I think they're crazy for not wanting to use it at 0.1%. I think that's a great deal. If you're getting a video done at $700 for a $700,000 house, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And especially if that video sells the house, what are you doing then? And what is real estate if it's not marketing? So we have some more interesting news. I don't know if I can't say that yet either, but we got our hands in all sorts of stuff here at Ruby Red Media, and we can't wait to share it with you. We just can't share it with you now.
That's all right. That's awesome. I can't wait to hear about that in a few weeks.
We're thinking big, baby. We're thinking big.
Yes, you are. I read where you talked about how TikTok is the most viewed website in the world. I had no idea about that. Why do you think that TikTok is that in 2022?
Freaking addictive, man. People are addicted to that short form content. And, if you're a business owner, if you're not on TikTok right now on business, please call me. All right. We'll create some content for you and get you on there. Some of the return on investment that we're getting on TikTok, some of the best in the city. Putt golfing games. I think we're getting 3 cents per click on TikTok. They needed to hire. All you gotta do is put a video together that relates to an 18 to 34-year-old kid or an 18 to 22-year-old person that wants to go work at putt-putt. And all of a sudden you go from not having any applicants to all the applicants in the world because you advertised on that one medium. But it's not just kids that are on there. My mother spends more time than anybody I know on TikTok. She literally will not get off of it. She's addicted to it because it's so good about figuring out what it is you like too, you know, and
Right.
then you get that stuck in that wormhole. And I do it all the time when I walk at the gym. I'll just turn on TikTok sometimes, and it kills time quicker than anything I've ever done in my life. So that time on the treadmill is not so bad.
Right. You know, a few years ago when you started Ruby Red, you produced a memorial documentary for a guy named Shane Grantham. He said that his sister had just passed away, and you were talking to him about her, and they were obviously in a very fragile state of mind when you were talking to them. And
Yeah.
it's no surprise to me at all that you put them at ease, you know, when you were able to talk to him.
Yeah, that's when I first started my that was our first gigs, was doing funeral. And imagine if you went into a funeral site and you saw Drake. That's my bad. You know, Drake Hall is in there at the funeral home doing video. That's where I had to start at. And I was, I'm not saying I was Drake Hall, but I was something similar to that in Fort Wayne. So the looks on people's faces when they saw me at a funeral home was like, what are you doing here? Like, why are you doing this? Like, don't you have other places to be? No, I don't, because I'm trying to learn this business.
Right.
And I wanted it. And if you want it, you do things other people don't want to do, like hang around dead bodies. How bad do you want it? That's how bad I wanted it.
Right. What is the favorite thing about what you do?
Just being able to create. I think I'm just a natural born creator. So being able to come into my office and fly a drone around and make something really cool that I know people are going to look at and go, wow, that's freaking cool. I've never seen that before. Or that guy's doing other things. Or even better yet, when people start copying my work, that makes me really happy. Right. Which my wife sent me something the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders did, which I'm a huge Dallas Cowboys fan.
I remember.
They kind of copied a little something similar to my style. Which I know one of the video guys there at the Cowboys organization. So I'm sure he probably sent a roll down to somebody else. And it's always flattering to see yourself in other people's work.
You were talking earlier about how you're one of the sponsors this year for the FedEx Family House 5K. And I know I read where you saw the picture of you where you had just gone over to the Ronald McDonald house, that houses all the St. Jude children, the patients and their families while they're here. It's not a shock at all to me, with the heart and I know that you have, and that your emotions were brought to tears there. That had to be just an amazing experience.
It was brutal. It was brutal, and I mean, every time I think about it, I've been crying since I've been there. I had never been there before, I think when I was here, that was Rock 103's baby. Like the Mad Dog was always over there at that house, but I had no idea what it was they actually did there until I got in there. And then as soon as I started touring the place and I sat down with Jill, the executive director, and we started chit-chatting with her, it wasn't until I heard her talk about some of the stories, like all the kids on the wall in this piece I just produced for Roadshow BMW. All those kids on the back of that wall passed away. And they keep that there as a reminder in their conference room of what it is they're fighting for. So, just having that alone is very powerful. That one shot, if you know the symbolism behind that shot. Now, we never talked about it on the video that I created for him. Let's see if I can share my screen with you real quick. Can I share my screen with you real quick?
Let's see.
Have we ever done that before? Oh no, you're reporting. Can't share.
Okay.
But am I muted? No,
you're not muted.
But anyways, no, just that we didn't explain that in the video, but it was very powerful for me to know that all those kids behind her, they didn't make it. And then as we go through the hallways, and I'm shooting all this B-roll, there's a little girl there, and I asked her mom, I was like, "Can I shoot you guys?" They were getting lunch, and she was like, "Sure." And I started shooting them, and the little girl did not want to be filmed. And I looked at the little girl, and I said, "Well, how old is she?" She said she was 6 years. She couldn't be any larger than my 2-year-old, and she had tufts of hair, and it was just a really hard thing to see as a father, and imagine what these people go through every day. And then as I walked on and I was filming more, just this overwhelming feeling of just all the heartache that has been in that building and all the hope, you know, and all the those final memories that people experience. It was just overwhelming, and it's still getting me, you know.
I've never been to the Ronald McDonald house. I did take a tour of St. Jude about 5-6 years ago, and it was unbelievable. I had no idea what was going to happen to me emotionally when I was there.
Yeah.
I remember walking by this little girl walking past me with her mom, and I knew she was a patient, and she wasn't smiling at all. And I remember just giving her a real big smile and waving to her, and her smiling back at me and waving back to me. And that hit home. It's just,
yeah,
that's a tough thing. And I mean, it takes, I think it's like $2.6 million a day to run St. Jude.
Yeah, and if there was something we could do to fix that, you know, like you would think at this point, you know, we can go and see the beginning of the universe. Why can't we stop childhood cancer? I know they're doing the best they can over there, but it's just, you know, it's hard to watch. It's hard to, you know, as a person that believes in God, it really makes you question, how could that happen, you know?
Yeah. What are the most important lessons that you've learned in your life?
Don't be an asshole. You know, I was an asshole when I lived here the first time, you know, and I didn't, you know, like I had my friends around me, but I don't think I was a very good person. And I think as I got older, I started to realize that there's a big value in just adding something to the world and not taking. I think that a lot of that was just ego, and it was me being stupid in my 20s. But the amount of good I could have done while in the air here in Memphis was immeasurable. And I really wish if I had a time capsule to take me back in time, I would, you know, volunteer more in the community. I would use that vehicle of being on the radio and being respected to do good things and not selfish things. So yeah, serve others, I think, is probably the biggest lesson.
John, if people are interested in any of your service that Ruby Red offers, how could they find you and contact you?
Holla at me. 901-230-0865. Or you can send me an email, john@rubyredmedia.com. You can also find me, you know, online at www.rubyredmedia.com.
You know, I loved listening to you on the radio, you know, the 4 years that you were here at 93X, and you were very entertaining. You know, and I got to know you a little bit personally too. And we talked about coming to some of the pool parties that I had, but even back then, and you talk about how you knew that you were destined for bigger things. I did too. I mean, your talent on the radio was evident that you were going to do more than just radio. So I'm happy for you, man.
You know, it's hard. It's hard to let go of it though. Like it really is. And I had a situation here where I I was being considered for a morning show here, and I was like just torn apart when it didn't happen. And then I was like, the very next day I woke up, I started going to work, and I was like, I'm good. I don't need that anymore. You know, I do miss it though. I dream about it still. I miss being on the air.
Man, it's been awesome having you on today and talking to you.
Yeah.
I'd love to have you on again sometime down the road.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm so happy you're doing well, man. It's good to see you. You'll have to invite me to the next pool party you throw. All right.
Yeah, sounds great.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Michael. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.